And it was about that moment of absolute nobodiness and no mind. That can happen by chance in the life. Some people have an accident, it can happen. Some people see a bird, it can happen. Anything like that. Even in childhood, this can happen. It can happen also with practices, a few practices. And it can happen also with satsang, through the removal of the concept. I would say that that experience which can happen in the circumstances I expressed is of the same nature. It's an experience. It started with a cause. So it has to end because of that cause. Because it's linked to time. There is a break in time. There is quite a paradox there. It's like that. So it's a conditional no mind. And in satsang, it's not accepted as realization. Because realization of what is unconditioned. There is no condition, there is no cause. There is no cause. So it would be very nice if one could say something. It's the only thing I can find as a difference. Yeah. And because one is a split second unconditioned, the realization will never leave that person. There will be no ping pong or in and out. What can we hear? Doesn't matter. Yeah. That's all, huh? That's all to say.
There's nothing now. No more. No more things. In the mask, no more one. In the mask, no more things. No more things. No,
That's what happens in satsang, no?
Yeah.
You would also say that it's conditioned.
Because there is a cause, it's there. You need the help. That's why it doesn't last. But there is a but because there is no other way also to make one aware
If I don't know,
that
we're not
you
there.
did nothing because you have
Tomorrow,
been always what is.
We don't go to my
It's only in satsang also that you do
Why?
that.
One sérieuse.
But
One
that's why
sérieuse.
you see
Une bonne sérieuse.
the addiction to satsang as
Isa.
two sides. It's
Not like that,
fantastic, it
because
is
this
absolutely
like
needed
that.
and I encourage. But also it is very much due
Now,
to the experience of somebody else
touch you, touch.
which gives a contagion, but then it's not your
like
role.
that.
So you may
And
live
then
moments,
do it mine now.
absolutely real moments.
Well, no.
But because of
It's
that,
not a goal like
so,
that.
but that,
Not a
if
goal like that.
it's
What?
not,
You see?
if the one who points out doesn't own anything, has to break that also, has to break that illusion also. Listen, it's still an experience because it's trust which
Sky.
makes you live that, but you still need that. There is still a condition.
No.
But the condition is much more subtle, means it's an indication more than in practices. You see, it's
Look,
more
sky.
subtle in a way.
Sky.
Because the emphasis is not in practice.
Sky.
You can't help to hear something or to see something that goes back where you already are. So,
Sky. Wow.
it's a very special space.
Yeah, wow. What is it? Here. Oh, what is this? I don't know. I don't know what to say. Oh, this one is this.
Ganga, would you say an experience
Not on the
is
table. Not on the
a
table.
split second of where you already are, but then the mind grabs it and then immediately it's in time again. But the actual experience in that,
Why not?
why not? Yeah.
Now to know, because if the mind immediately translates by something, I would say no. But why not? That's why I mistake very often. I say, oh, this one, no, I got it. And of course, it's not always like that.
And because of that, that's why you're saying that it is important to have experiences, because one actually.
No, I say experiences to shake your previous concepts. You cannot take back your previous concepts once you have a concept. For example, you believe the permanency of realization, for example. And for some reason, suddenly you hear, why do you want to keep it in time? This idea itself covers who you are. And for example, it throws you back there. So you next, if there is a next, if you go back to your mind and translate in some way, you cannot take this concept back, you see.
Yeah, that's also my experience.
So it shakes the building you carry. It's great.
Yeah, it's not, I know.
And if you arrive at the foundation, which is I, there's not much left afterwards to shake.
I will do for you.
But then where to go? Because what is there?
So really, it all sits on the eye. The whole creation, the whole
The bulb, the balloon.
the balloon,
Balloon?
maybe
The
bubble, the bubble,
Voilà.
the bubble.
I knew it just with B, but the bubble.
The bubble.
It's just one bubble. And it sits on the needle.
Yeah. It's so funny.
It's so fun.
It just. Oh my
Your team was strong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. I made
that's
it.
why
I'm sorry.
It makes me very strong too, so that I
urge to know or be known.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who I am.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unknown.
Yeah.
Thank you also.
Which is a no, what?
What I am is unknown.
Yeah.
If there's an urge to
Yeah.
know or be known.
Yeah. Okay. It doesn't matter. But when can you say that? When you are freed from the illusion that the knowing will bring you something more real. If you are freed from that, it's a habit of your mind. In that way, the example of Master is good, because in his diary you could see he was investigating very much. He loved, he was passionate with the subject, trying to express, even encouraging maybe a young one will express and so on. Which is true, because you know,
Big one! Bravo!
something I guess can always be said in a very new way. It must be very rare, maybe just a word, but it can happen. But of course it's always an indication. In that way it's wonderful. It depends on the mind. Huh? Yeah, but one as if he has an investigating mind,
Now we have to
will not
sit.
really stop.
Sit. And then.
So you say that. You see that. So you need not be afraid of that tendency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To remain in satsang. To remain in satsang. The tendency
Yeah.
appears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, but then it's interesting what you say, because it, to me, it means that the real understanding is there, but maybe not the realization. Because you see, when there is a realization, there is no need to be careful or to put yourself in satsang or those things, to be vigilant. So, you agree?
No.
Yeah. So, what is, why there is no realization?
1 minute
Doing this why there is no realization. It could have been an understanding, because now you are no more afraid of that. You know what it is. So why should you put yourself in satsang when it comes?
Now.
It's not even necessary.
Now.
Will you be away from yourself if this comes?
Oh, I know one thing. Look.
No, that can be. No.
Can be. So
Sorry, Mama.
what is there anything left? Maybe you have to. Huh? You really understood that, huh? So now you have to lose the understanding completely. Don't go back to the understanding. You really understood it. It's clear. you can't forget.
Mm.
Can't forget. And if you have to remember, it will become in your memory. So completely forget what don't touch that. Yeah? Tomorrow it is enough to Otherwise, to come back, you will give a pause. You will give a condition. This I want you to be free from
Could the problem be that I notice that too much? How the mind gets quiet. There's something like when the satsang starts, that suddenly you get aware of no I. There's nobody home. And maybe then that is already one step of separating. I haven't been aware of that. I cannot say now because I just notice it then. Like, so to say, I notice the difference. Yeah. So, is there harm in noticing the difference? Because we spoke, in all the beginning of my stay here, we spoke about that. And I said, wow, there's this attachment, because I notice it so much. How it gets completely...
Yeah. You see, the thing is, it's always a happening to someone. Someone is this way, and then someone is even not there, but it happens to whom?
That's what I mean. I think it happens in the moment that I separate myself, I'm already there again. But I must not have been, because I mean in the awareness, because I suddenly get aware of the separation. So of course then it happens to us.
You see, as long as you can describe what happens to life, it is a creation, an experience of state. That we do all what you describe. Because that's what I say. Good you get this experience. Good you get this experience. It's absolutely necessary to get an experience, to be aware where you just land.
Come on, this one.
You have not to describe.
Yeah,
If you
that's
describe,
what I'm
yeah,
saying, how
okay.
to have to describe.
You see why you follow how?
Why I follow her?
Yeah. Why? It rises from who? You will never, never, never be free from I if you say but, if and how. No, there is no way out. But that's the starving to death for the mind.
Das ist mein Mülleimer. Das wird eine Kabel.
C'est bien. When you say house, for example, it's because you believe that you are not, you believe that I is not yet realized, but it will not be I. Huh? So I cannot enter here. And I is a wagon with infinite train wagons. Is a locomotive with infinite wagons. I cannot enter here.
Also for me, okay.
And then what's realization? Oh, but I always. I is not the same I as the way to speak. I will always be myself. Now understand, only today understand Ramana Maharishi. Good God. I never understood why he was always saying I, and so on. I never understood. But now I understand because you are obliged to say I. But then people get confused, so probably said I for the real and I for the normal. Yes. Oh, you have a revelation.
Come on.
C'est toi qui as mis ça? Yes. Never keep quiet if you feed him. Never can keep quiet. Because it's not its nature. It doesn't manifest itself if you don't feed it. What is feeding I? Experiences, ideas, everything. States, emotions, but not all that is the same thing. C'est bon? See how tricky it is, this journey of search. When, for example, you suddenly see, oh, I have no search, it can be still a feeding of your eye. It can be totally true, but it could slip into a feeding of the mind. I have no search. I had a search, I have no search. And nothing has been shaken. But sometimes someone says there is no search and there is no I involved. But amazing, hein?
J'ai plus la pomme.
Ah bah, c'est pour moi.
Je sais trop.
Merci beaucoup. Quoi? Tu manges un bon truc? Yeah. I say that because I myself food myself, so those trees.
Not to feed the eye until the spot of the mind are alive.
You run after a small thing, or you run after a
That's why I'm asking.
It's very difficult, but you can do it. It's not a small thing. Then what? It's not in the marketplace. It's not a small thing. not something everybody can take it or leave it. You unlock, your mislock is that you are in this, you are obliged to love it.
I do.
And so you cannot step back, you have to fight. You have to be full power. Of course, then. But you have the help of a guide. You have the help. You can do it.
Here.
If I can do it, poor woman, very weak, why can't you do it? In the scriptures, I'm not allowed to realize. It's true. I'm sorry. No?
No, I think this is around all this, all the Christians that I don't know how. To,
I'm making this.
all this, I think.
But that's a good sign also. It shows your mind start to be defeated. Yeah, you start to see that you can't solve it through your mind. You can't. Actually, maybe you start to see. When you will fully see, then it will be you block. You start to see. I believe. Your mind is defeated. Imagine if you cannot even ask how to do it. Your mind has no place here, it means. It's completely... It can't enter you.
Maintenant, c'est Gigi qui a enlevé la maison.
Because who told you to serve? The mind, it's the mind which started with this idea.
Don't sit on it.
And then it's the mind who will be slapped because he has not to slap. Cannot enter. You have not to attain something. If you remove this worry, if you remove the emotions which are attached to this defeated mind, more and more, you see, if remove means if you don't pay attention to that, you are at the proper, there is nothing to do. Because always one forgets that. You bring one question and attached to it is you have to arrive somewhere. So you have always to remove that concept. It's always attached. Any effort, it is attached. That is the bad.
Not like that.
One forgets all the time.
To see if I understand it right. If I ask myself what is reality, I arrive somewhere that seems empty of everything. It's probably before I appear. But immediately I appear.
Yeah.
And now what I understand is now actually before it reappears,
Yeah.
I have the power to do something different than usually. Is that right? Not to follow is what you say, or not to.
You need extreme efforts till then, yeah. You, yeah.
It's a question.
Yeah.
It's a question. If when I arrive
In that, yeah. But you see, actually, it's a bit not well described when you are going that direction. Because if you arrive, so here I speak of the fading away.
so then I don't go far enough.
You don't keep quiet enough. In the sense of, so when the eye rises, what happens? In your experience, what happens when the eye rises?
Everything appears.
Everything appears, but how does it make you search again? Or which feeling you have?
I immediately ask
Okay, but you believe in that thought.
intellectually not. Immediately I say no, but it's not.
But
It's
then
bullshit.
something is there. This question comes from somewhere. Probably you would not ask a question, isn't it? Yeah. No, but that's why I want to.
But now what
So let's I repeat. It happens to understanding, or it happens that you are, let's say, empty, or there is emptiness, and then the eye rises, asking what is it? For example. So this is, to me, nothing is wrong there. But what is wrong, wrong. It's a way. What is too much is, if there is nothing wrong there, no question arise to ask for an understanding of something. So it means there is a something, it's not exactly as you described. Yeah. So, because it is so, I would say that you have that experience of emptiness. It's an experience. Yeah, but then if it is an experience, it has to give place to another experience, which is the rising of I, which he is very surprised. He's asking, oh, what was it? What is it? But then since it's an experience of emptiness, you believe, as you believe that is real, what comes next, you have to believe also. Because the I has not been, is the base of both experiences. So, no, tell. No, tell. Because I may, each one expresses in different ways.
If it's no experience,
The emptiness.
yeah.
If it is no experience,
There's
yes.
no experience. There's
Yeah.
no way that after the I appears and is asking the same question again.
You mean it is a realization?
Yeah.
Yeah. What I can say is that I may appear and tell what is it. And that's it. There is no further movements. It is not the same person. It is not the emptiness, which is not a state. It is not the emptiness which asks. It is the I who has been disappearing, and it reappears and says, what is it? Great surprise. At the same time, it keeps completely quiet. And the nature, the real nature who has been realized, doesn't need to follow, doesn't take for real even that. It just notices. I is surprised. Why not? But it doesn't. The surprise will not lead you to some conceptual vision or something like that. Is it so?
Yeah, I understand. I understand this part.
Yeah. It's something we have not been taught that you want to express. I really want to try to hear you, because you are not satisfied, and me too.
Well, when you explain the things, it looks sometimes as if there is a moment when I have to do something, or to avoid something, or
To realize?
yeah. And so
Where is the thing for the
if that's the case, then I don't know yet exactly where that point is and what I have to do.
You see, many times I try to express that as long as you search, let's put it in a gross way, but the search can be very subtle. By the time, by whatever. So it means, in other words, as long as there is an I, identified I, you are in time. And one speaks of realization. One speaks of, otherwise the search has no meaning. So there is a realization. More and more one understands that it's not a attainment. It will be there. But for that, there is a moment, there is a moment of extreme effort of the I to just decide, want, not to be full. An extreme effort to not to follow any movement of its mind. But that, you needed to do it once. Because afterwards, so to say, no, I am not going to be fooled again in following any movement of the mind. I am not going. And then it is so that if it is really radically want it like that, it is bound to happen this way. And I cannot stay alone very long. Then here I speak of the fading away of the I. Fading away, not yet it. Now he leaves the effort behind. Let it fade away. Even if he expresses I'm no more there, who is expressing it? I. So it's still in the fading away. He has not even to grasp that movement. And then there is the complete look of afterwards. That eye rises, there is movement, doesn't matter. But that moment that gives you full power, and once it is chosen, keep quiet. So when experiences knowledge, what comes up, you feel don't touch. And then there is nobody there to not to touch. And you don't even know what's I'm sorry?
The bubbles has to
One
go
question.
in.
Yeah.
Then you said it just now, then there is a moment where the eye should not follow his mind.
I makes a tremendous effort to stand in front of the man. It has to. Otherwise he makes another round.
You see, bear.
He has to do it once. Only once is enough. He has to.
Don't do it. This is for tea. It's not for doing it.
Now there are a few ways to express. Ramana expressed in the Who Am I? I express in the No. But it's always the same point, you see. It is I. After all, it is to express that there is a tremendous effort not to follow the ordinary flow of the mind, and then I is left alone. All this is split seconds, huh? But anyway, it's a time. I is left alone. In that I left alone, there are still all the possibilities to go back. There it is the very delicate and most essential moments. And there one can say, don't miss it, please. You just... And you see, that's what I say. Don't miss it. Because that tremendous effort cannot happen so many times in the life. I mean, it's impossible. As you cannot fall in love intensely so many times in one's lifetime because it's so much intense that you can't. I mean, it's impossible. It's the same way. It's really the same way. You can't. But of course, you will miss it a few times because one is never enough informed. So, but at some point, one knows. I don't believe that it comes unnoticed. It comes unnoticed. The realization.
You want the world? You want the world?
Oh, Amela. I have to meet that one. Then I will be blown away. Oh, this I don't know. ask you, I ask.
No, I think I understood it really. There's no use of it actually.
So you are less. No, because this summer still you express it.
No, but I saw it doesn't bring anything.
Because it is less attractive, you can ask this question. Otherwise, you cannot ask this question. It's because one layer is removed, but you can ask this question. Don't put it in the same. Don't put it in the same basket. Otherwise, you will miss.
Des choses comme ça, ils n'ont pas. Tu peux te baisser un peu.
But there is nothing there. Topic today. You saw a few DVDs of Papaji and a few meetings with him, like Ganga Premnat and a few maybe where it was looking completely decisive. You remember a few of those DVDs? And so we were. It's one can ask, but how come it was not finished then, as it really looked? It really looks.
No, but
What?
I don't find it. I find that the master made it
The
more
master
than what
made
the
it.
experience
I know, because
This was my
he had to change the ideas.
He had to change.
obvious.
But maybe not always like that.
No, but with
Yeah.
Why?
But then let's take the. There was. I didn't see many things. Maybe it's wrong. Because then I come back to this. It's because you see when the master takes thing out of enthusiasm or simply. Sometimes you need the words of the master to say you are that, and then that's it. It happens just to this way. But then because the eye was, even if it is the shade of the eye, but there is something there still to hear. Oh, I got it. Oh, this is it. And then it starts. It's old. That's why we have to search again. Because if the master says this is it and all, it isn't pointing. It's like, one, my dear, I'm the only one to recognize it. It's the right direction. It means that from the master. But if there is an eye, they will say, come, finish, search again. But it happens. Because of that. That's what I said. Here. Even if you hear, you got it, I get it. Let nobody hear this. It's just to tell right direction. Don't touch. But you know, grace to him all this happened only because I could see those examples that I understood. I would never have understood anything. This is that. Maybe you don't understand, I don't know. How do you understand all those things? Maybe you do. But it's only saying those examples that I could, I don't know, be aware of something. What is it? So, you know now. And that is the beauty, you see. From master to master too. It's absolutely nothing new, but the way to express looks like things. It's according to the time. Now people are very smart and they know everything, so you have to express more, explain more. Never I heard those topics. Never. Did you hear this? And I find it so important. So it's the time. Time is changing.
Your questions were different than
My questions? What you bring about those last 3 days? It was never touched. No. Nobody asked. I don't even see in other satsang. I don't see in other satsangs of other people. It's always about concepts, removing concepts, but you see, this is not. So, you can't, you see, if you cannot know. This is not in teachings. No, but one gets really fed up to see that one falls always in illusion. Even the illusion of enlightenment. It's too much. It's a pity. Why? One has to know all this. Really. Christians and all they will say there is no enlightenment. Are you well? One concept can be shaken, but actually, are you able? It's true. But then, where that person will be left? Not in enlightenment, not in realization. He will be left somewhere. It's part of the millions of concepts to go.